how many ways are there for 7 students to sit in a row of 7 seats? So in the previous problem, we only had 4 students and 2 seats. We were able to list out all the possible permutations, and then we saw that there were 12 of them. If we increase the number of students and increase the number of seats, you can imagine that it would take a long time and be very difficult to list out all those possible permutations. And notice we don't even need to do that to answer this problem. Here we're just wondering how many ways are there, that is, how many permutations are there of 7 students sitting in 7 seats. So we can actually solve this problem using the multiplication principle. So I'm going to draw 7 slots, each representing one of the seats. So for example, this slot right here represents the first seat. This one's the second, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth, then the sixth, then the seventh. So we can imagine these 7 students all walking into class at the same time and seeing a row of 7 seats. And when they approach the first seat, any one of those students can sit there. So there are 7 options for the first stage, that is the first seat in this row. So there are 7 options there. Now, one student is seated. We don't know which, it's one of those 7 is seated. There are 6 students left, and then they all approach the second seat. So any of those remaining 6 students can sit in the second seat. That's like the second stage if we were drawing a tree diagram. Now, there's only 5 students left because 2 are already sitting down as they approach the third seat, so there are 5 options for who sits there. And you can see that this pattern will continue. We then have the 4th seat and only 4 students remaining. We have the 5th seat, and because 4 students are already seated, only 3 students could possibly sit there. The 6th seat, there's only 2 options for who could sit there. And at the very end, there's only 1 seat left and 1 student left. So that student has to sit in that last seat. And then, to get the answer, we just have to multiply all these numbers together using a calculator. And if you do that, you get that the answer is 5,040 permutations. That is, there are 5,040 different arrangements of 7 students in 7 seats. Or instead of saying arrangements, I could say permutations.